So the Nintendo president, that being, the overall president, President Furukawa, he was speaking about tariffs, basically all that's going into the financial aspects of the Nintendo Switch 2, pointed towards whether the Switch 2 could go up in price or could it even go down in price potentially. President Furukawa pointed out that in order to raise profit margins, it is necessary to increase the number of software purchased per hardware unit. Just talking about stuff like that. But when you get a little bit lower down here, he says, our basic policy is to recognize tariffs as a cost when determining sales prices in any country or region to incorporate them into the price, right? So obviously that makes a lot of sense. And in the case of Vietnam, there's 10% tariffs and Nintendo has chosen to eat the cost of that. So now instead of having marginal profits on the Nintendo Switch 2, they're coming in at a little bit of a loss. That's not what he said. I'm just kind of catching you guys up to if you missed the past news. But this time, the top priority is to quickly popularize the Nintendo Switch 2 hardware. So he says, if the assumptions regarding tariffs change significantly, then we would like to consider what price adjustments we should make and implement them after considering various aspects. The company said that if additional tariffs are imposed and sales prices are raised, demand in the United States may decrease, and that it is also concerned that rising prices of daily necessities and food will have an impact on consumers' budgets for games. The sale target of 15 million units for Switch 2 is set at the same level as approximately 15 million units achieved in 10 months since the release of the current model of Switch 1 in 2017. The Consumer Technology Association published an updated report from the Trade Partnership Worldwide LLC today that assesses the impact of Trump's tariffs on consumer tech. Its ultimate conclusion is that video game consoles, and this is not just Nintendo by the way, may rise upwards of 70% in the US, with desktop PCs seeing a 24% increase and smartphones landing at almost 31% more. If the current tariff rate on China stays at 145%, console prices could raise as much as $428 per unit. While Nintendo is doing its best to avoid raising prices on its hardware and games, it might wind up being a case where the company is simply forced to do so to actually earn money from sales. And again, you got to keep in mind, before everybody say Nintendo greedy, the fact is Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, it's happening to all of them. It's happening to Apple. Nintendo is actually doing the best at keeping the cost down. It was reported by analysts that they're estimating that the Switch 2 production cost is just over $400, so USD. Before the 10% tariffs, they were making, like I said, marginal profit. And now with the 10% tariffs on Vietnam, they're coming in at a loss on the consoles. Like, well, what if, all these tariffs come down? Could the price come down as well? I think that's possible. Maybe very slight, $10-20, but hey, $10-20 goes a long way. As of right now, everything's set in stone. Every company right now is monitoring the situation, and that's pretty much it. So let me know your thoughts.